Hello everyone, welcome to this YouTube channel. This is Elite Weather Forecasting. My name is Mr. G, your meteorologist, and let's talk about that weather forecast we're going to be seeing in the next days to come, and as well take a kind of a quick glance ahead at what we're going to be seeing as we are entering the month of March now. So unfortunately, I don't have a lot of good news to tell you about March. I often look forward to March here in Minnesota because we get those incursions of warmer weather, maybe even some first rumbles of thunder. Things start to get a little bit more interesting, but unfortunately, I think we're going to be seeing more of winter across the northern tier of the country, and we might actually start to pick up a little bit more snow across portions of the Midwest that have not seen very much snow over the majority of the winter. So up here around Illinois and Indiana and Ohio, where we have not seen much in the way of snow, Michigan has had a fair amount of snow, of course, as well as Wisconsin and Minnesota are actually looking at above average snowfall totals for this time of the year, and across the northern plains as well. But we're going to be seeing more of that cold air continue across the upper Midwest and into the Great Lakes, and we might actually get a little bit more cold air incursions across the Northeast. Then maybe we can get some of those snowstorms to affect the big cities, New York and Boston, and maybe Providence and Philadelphia. Might be able to see some snowflakes across that region, but I don't think it's going to get as cold. So we're getting into that time of the year where the sun angles are just a little bit too high in the sky. So even though we're going to have colder air, those higher sun angles and that solar radiation coming through might moderate that air mass a little bit and punch back the intensity of that cold air. So even though we're going to continue to see Arctic air throughout the month of March, we will see that moderate as we move through the month and get closer to April, because again, we're coming into spring. Those sun angles are just a little bit too high in the sky to make that Arctic air be that effective. So that's what we're going to be seeing for the month of March. So a lot more severe weather is going to continue down here across the Mid-South, the Southern Plains, and along the Gulf Coast. So we're going to continue to see those trends of severe weather down across the South, cold air and more snow up here across maybe this region through Minnesota, the Dakotas. We might see a little bit more snow across Nebraska, Kansas, maybe through Missouri and Iowa as well. So a little bit more snow across this region, and more snowy weather is going to continue across the west. So the Rockies and the Cascade Mountains, we're going to continue to see those cold shots and some of those bigger snowstorms across that region as we move into the month of March, okay? Now let's take a look at that pattern that we've seen for the most part for this winter. Now that La Nina is coming to an end, and we are going to see maybe a pattern change possibly with that La Nina ending and us moving into ENSO neutral. There is a signal of El Nino possible by the time we get to fall and winter later in 2023. Weak to moderate El Nino is possible, not yet forecasted to be very strong, but we are looking at the possible signal of El Nino. But what we've been seeing so far for this winter has been very cold out to the west. We've seen a lot of heavy storms, a lot of heavy rain in California, heavy snow across the Sierra. We've had over 600 inches of snow across many areas of the Sierra. We've seen a lot of snow in the Cascades and the northern Rockies. Boy, avalanches really have been something this year because we've had a lot of snow and very cold weather that is going to continue as we move into the month of March. And then across the eastern United States, things have been very interesting as well, as we've had a very mild winter here down across the south, but it has led to a lot of severe weather events because of our area of cold air, and we've had a very strong jet stream from the southwest to the northeast across the nation's midsection. So that very strong jet stream, a lot of cold air coming down out of the north, has fueled a lot of warm air and moist air coming up off of the Gulf of Mexico. Some of that moist air even coming in off of the Atlantic. So we've seen very strong thunderstorms, a lot of severe weather this winter down here across the South, the Southern Plains, and into Texas as well. We're going to continue to see those thunderstorms as we head into the month of March. We may see a pattern change in this month of March, where it's going to get high pressure out to the west. So we're going to see more ridging to the west and troughing toward the south and east, and over this way across the northeastern United States. We may see more troughing that way. So maybe we could pick up some snow across the northeast, where we've had a tremendous snow drought this winter. Now let's take a look at the current storm that we're dealing with. So tomorrow through Saturday, we got a couple of storms, what's called a double barrel situation. So we have this area of low pressure here and another area of low pressure that's going to develop right off the east coast, and that one is going to move on out to sea. But what it's going to do is make northeasterly winds blow off the ocean. So we could be seeing some cold winds and heavy rain possible, maybe even some snow across portions of New England. Boston might pick up some snow. New York City, we could pick up some snowflakes as well. Then we have our second storm that's going to move a bit more north. So we're going to be seeing that storm move here near Ontario, Canada. So Detroit is going to make more of an inside track here. We're going to be seeing it head towards southern Canada. But that guy is going to bring a lot of snow across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, but severe thunderstorms down here across the southern plains from Texas through Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, and Tennessee. We're going to be seeing some thunderstorms. Some of those storms can affect Missouri, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and Ohio as well. So we're going to be seeing a lot of thunderstorms as we move through the remainder of this week down here across the central and southern United States. Now, as we take a look at our next map, our major storm developing, this is that guy right here that's going to make that track off toward the north and east. We're going to be seeing a heavy rain down here near Illinois and Missouri. We're going to have freezing rain as well, so a lot of mixed precipitation. So we're going to have a nice strip here of freezing rain as we got a little bit of overlapping of warmer air overrunning some colder air to the north. So we're going to have what's called an occlusion. So our occluded front is going to be there. So we're going to be seeing the mixed layer produce a lot of frozen precipitation, freezing rain and sleet mixed with some rain and snow. But we're going to be seeing rain down further south and heavy rain and thunderstorms along this cold front right here. So we're going to be seeing a lot of severe thunderstorms possible, especially right in this region right here, southern Indiana, Kentucky, and eastern Tennessee. We're going to see a round of severe thunderstorms across that region, and we could be seeing some heavy rain that's going to lead to some flash flooding concerns. So a lot of heavy rain across the eastern third of the United States, and across here in the northeast, we're going to be seeing our rain and snow, maybe some snow in Boston, but rain, New York City might pick up some freezing rain and sleet from this round of wet weather. But we're going to keep our eye, because I'm seeing signs that we could finally get some colder air in there and get some snow across New York City in particularly. So Friday night, as our double barrel system makes its way up the northeastern seaboard, we're going to be seeing, look at this, Boston finally cold enough for snow, and hopefully we can still keep some precipitation in progress, that we can get some of that snow on the ground. But unfortunately for New York City, you're going to be just south of that freezing rain line. Now, you may not think that bad news, because rain, in my opinion, freezing rain is the worst thing. I hate it more than anything. But just south of that, we're going to be seeing here where temperatures are just warm enough for all rain across New York City and the DC area, where our second area, a weaker area of low pressure. This area is going to be much stronger than this area of low pressure. All right, so here's our radar as we're looking at these thunderstorms down here across the Mid-South and the Mid-Mississippi River Valley. We got thunderstorms all the way back here into Texas, moving through South Arkansas, Western Tennessee, Western Kentucky, Southern Illinois, Indiana. So right here we got our strip of severe thunderstorms. We got several severe thunderstorm warnings in there and maybe a couple tornado watches as well. We're going to take a look at those tornado watches that are going to be in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. But we have some wet weather and some thunderstorms possible, even across the southwest. Look at those lightning strikes in southwestern Arizona. So we're seeing thunderstorms across the southwest, almost like the monsoons, isn't it? Wonderful thunderstorms down there across the south. So I'm pretty sure they're not used to seeing that this time of the year, but there you go with some thunderstorms. A few snow showers up there near the Seattle area in the Pacific Northwest, as we have another Pacific storm making its way onshore over that way. Some snowflakes up here across the upper Midwest near the Great Lakes. So east of Minnesota, Wisconsin, the upper peninsula of Michigan, we're seeing a few snowflakes this evening, and that's going to be moving into southern Canada. So that is a look at our current radar. Now, a tornado watch that's going to be in effect until 10 o'clock p.m. in the central time here. And there's that tornado watch that's going to be over portions of Mississippi and Arkansas, East Texas, and southern Kentucky as well. So we have this very large area that's under a tornado watch right now, and that's going to remain in effect until 10 o'clock p.m. Central Time. So flash flooding is going to be very likely with some of these tornadoes. Tornadoes are possible, large hail is going to be possible, and damaging winds are possible. I think damaging winds should be likely here. I think we should have put there, because damaging winds is going to kind of be more of a thing than those tornadoes are. A few tornadoes are possible, but damaging wind and flash flooding is certainly going to be likely with these thunderstorms that are moving through this evening. All right, so let's talk about our severe weather threat. And we have our severe thunderstorm probabilities for your day on Thursday. Now, right here across the lower Mississippi River Valley and portions of the Ozark Mountains, so eastern Texas, northwestern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, western Mississippi, we could be seeing the likelihood or significant severe weather. So an outbreak is certainly possible tomorrow. We're going to be seeing those clusters of thunderstorms that could lead to some large tornadoes, EF2 or stronger. So a few very large tornadoes. We could see quite a few smaller tornadoes, large hail, 2-inch diameter hail, damaging winds in excess of 75 miles an hour. So a very large area that's going to be dealing with the possibility of severe weather tomorrow. I mean, it's going to be very likely significant severe weather threat tomorrow. So get prepared. Please pay attention to your local weather forecasters. I'm sure Reed Timmer and all the storm chasers are going to be down there across that region tomorrow, keeping everybody safe, keeping weather forecasters at the National Weather Service and your local TV stations up to date with that information from the field, letting these folks know what's going on the ground. So a big severe weather event is possible tomorrow across the lower Mississippi River Valley, through Mississippi, through Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky. So a very large area that can be dealing with some really big thunderstorms tomorrow. These guys are going to be nasty. Again, that severe weather threat lessens on as far as intensity as we head into Friday, but it gets a larger area. So we're going to expand that severe weather threat where we got severe thunderstorms likely. That means the possibility of some tornadoes, damaging wind, large hail, and flash flooding. So all modes of severe weather is going to be possible on Friday, and that's going to encompass North Florida, Georgia, Alabama, eastern Mississippi, eastern Tennessee, eastern Kentucky, western Virginia, western North Carolina, all of South Carolina, and maybe even some portions of southern Ohio, Indiana, southeastern Indiana could see the potential for some of those severe thunderstorms as well. But I think we're going to be seeing thunderstorms the entire eastern U.S. and the southeastern U.S. and even into Florida. We could be seeing some thunderstorms that an isolated thunderstorm or severe thunderstorm can be possible even outside of our area where we have that watch in place for right now, or at least where our outlook covers. We could be seeing thunderstorms even up here a little bit further to the north where we could see some of our frozen precipitation. All right. We're going to have the heavy rain across the eastern United States and into the mid-south where we could be picking up 3 to 5 inches of rain through some locations. Some isolated spots pick up as much as 5 to 8 inches of rain. Generally, we're looking at 2 to 3 inches of rain in the yellow, and then in the dark green, that is going to be 1 to 2 inches of rain. And then we have the light green where we're looking at a half inch to an inch of rain. So very wet conditions across this portion of the eastern United States. Tomorrow, here across the Mid-South, we got the Southern Plains as well as the Mid-Mississippi River Valley, the Ozarks, the Tennessee Valley. We're going to be looking at that potential for some heavy rain where flash flooding is going to be a real possibility with this. So remember, if you're out driving around and you see a floated runway, please turn around, don't drown, because that's very serious. It only takes 4 inches of water to make a vehicle lose contact with the road surface, and that current can carry you away if you are in a flash flood. You only need 4 inches of water to lose contact with the road surface. Now let's take a look at our FUTURETRACK weather forecast here as we take a look at our major storm that's going to be lifting up down out of the southern plains and into the northeast, into the Great Lakes tomorrow. We're going to be seeing that snow up here across the north of our low. Look at that big band of snow. We have our deformation band, but we're going to be seeing rain and thunderstorms. We're going to be seeing thunderstorms right in this region and all across the southeast into their afternoon tomorrow. So we're going to be seeing those severe thunderstorms moving up across the south as our map cycles through here, and we're going to be seeing that movement from the southern plains up into the upper Midwest, where we're going to have that very wet weather. We're going to be seeing our snow and freezing rain as well. And here we are as we take a look at our next map, where we're going to be seeing our low pressure center on Friday that's going to be sitting there across portions of Kentucky and Tennessee and the southern portions of the Midwest. We're going to be seeing rain across the southeast. There is our severe thunderstorms down here in the red. In the green, we're going to be seeing rain. Here's our snow band up there across the from the mid-Atlantic through the Great Lakes. We're talking Michigan down through Wisconsin, Illinois, over to Missouri and some portions of Iowa. We're going to be seeing some heavy snow possible, 6 inches or more. So a snowy situation up here across the upper Great Lakes. And again, more wet weather down here to the south with those severe thunderstorms. All right, so as we move into your Saturday, our weaker storm starts to pull away. This storm comes up now, is moving up the coastal into New Brunswick here, and it's going to start to pull away. We're going to be seeing some wraparound snow, might encompass Boston a little bit, up here near Syracuse, New York, might pick up a few snowflakes, and then across portions of Maine and this is Vermont and New Hampshire right there, could pick up some snowflakes as well. Still going to be a little bit warm to the south, so maybe some rain showers down here in Rhode Island, the southern New York, portions of Pennsylvania as well. We might see some rain showers down across that region, and maybe even a few rumbles of thunder as well. So a lot of thunderstorms is going to be possible. Here's our snowfall forecast through Saturday. We're going to see a lot of snow, a nice band of snow over here across portions of the Midwest. So Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, all the way up into Illinois, Wisconsin, even into portions of Minnesota. Minneapolis might pick up a couple of inches of snow. Michigan as well, we're going to see some snow. And a lot of regions right in here, we haven't seen a lot of snow. Northern Indiana and Ohio, northern Illinois, Chicago might pick up about an inch of snow to 1 to 2 inches across this region, or 1 to 3 around the Chicagoland area, and as well across as maybe near Detroit, we might pick up 1 to 3 inches, and into portions of northwestern Pennsylvania, maybe Buffalo might pick up a couple of inches from this snowstorm. So not the biggest snowstorm in the world, but a few inches of snow, and that's going to make for some slippery road conditions out there across the upper Midwest and into the Great Lakes. All right, so that storm is going to move into the northeast as we head later into the week. Through your Saturday, we're going to be seeing that potential there for a little bit heavier snow across portions of Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York, here where we could be seeing the potential for 12 to 8 inches. So that's where we could see a little bit heavier snow across this region. Right in here is where we have a heavier snow band that's going to set up. The snow totals will drop off quickly down here south of Boston and into upstate New York as well. It might be cold enough for a few flakes where maybe you can pick up a half inch or maybe 1 to 3 inches here and there, south, just to the north of New York City. So not a barn buster by any stretch of the imagination, but finally a few flakes of snow. Maybe that'll indicate a change coming in the pattern that could direct a few more of those snowstorms in your direction, so your winter won't be a complete bust for all of you snow lovers out there in the Northeast. As we work our way through this weather forecast, the last thing we got to talk about is my least favorite thing when it comes to winter weather, and that is ice and freezing rain. So we're going to have some patches of ice and freezing rain as we head through the next few days, and that is going to be probably a light amount, so less than 1/10 of an inch. Maybe a few isolated spots can pick up as much as a half an inch of ice, especially right in this region right here through Pennsylvania and West Virginia. And this region I like to call as part of the freezing rain zone, because they are frequently hit with rounds of freezing rain, and this is no exception. So that is a look at your weather forecast for the next several days here. And we talked a little bit about what our long-range outlook could be and what we're going to continue to see across the northeastern United States and the northern plains and the Great Lakes region, where we're going to continue to see things a little bit on the cold side as we head into March, and more of that severe weather down across the southeastern U.S. and into the southern plains. My name is Mr. G. Thanks for watching this weather video for this YouTube channel. Leave your likes, comments. Feel free to subscribe and have a great day. I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye.